Just have for my first thought is I'm happy we got out of spring healthy. For the most part, we didn't have any major issues. I think we got out pretty healthy today. Spring games are wonderful. It's a great chance for us to showcase to the great fans that we have. But from an evaluation standpoint as a coach, we've been looking at 14 other practices, and this is a small piece of it. So I thought overall it was good. I would have liked to seen the red team come out with a little more fire and execute a little better at the beginning. They did some good things, but I don't think it was consistent enough. Other than that, there was good plays and there was bad plays, which is just about any spring game. But overall, with the entirety of spring, I'm fairly pleased.
This was fans' first time seeing Luke McCaffrey. Where does he kind of leave the spring in your mind? What did that done?
Well, just in general, we feel better about the quarterback position than we did a year ago. I think we have better depth. I think we have better talent. We're going to have a little more experience. We were as young as you could be last year at that spot by the time the season hit. Adrian's clearly a top player in the entire country. Noah did some really good things today, and that's what we've been seeing all spring. And all three of the other guys did some good things, made a couple mistakes here and there, and there's a learning curve there. But feel good about that room in general, and we'll let the competition stay open all the way through fall.
Has Noah been that smooth and that good throughout your spring camp?
Yeah, looking all the way back to last fall, I kind of felt bad in the Bethune game even with Noah because that's what we've seen Noah do. Inside our program since he came back to Nebraska. Kind of wishing that Bethune game might have left him in with the ones and let him operate a little better in that game. Sometimes it isn't just about the quarterback. It always looks like the quarterback. Sometimes you get more blame as a quarterback when things don't go well, right, Tom? Sometimes you get more praise when things do go well. But Noah's a good player, and I think the fans got to see a little bit of that today.
Do you feel like he's your second guy? You see more clarity. He's your number 2 guy.
If we had to play a game today, he'd be number 2. But like I said, every position, the competition is going to stay open through fall, and the other guys have done good things too. So nobody's safe in their position until we hit the first game.
That performance from the defense, is that about on par with what you've seen all spring?
Actually, I think the offense did better today than sometimes during spring. It was a good performance by the defense, not the best I've seen this spring. There's been times where we couldn't move the ball at all this spring, which is a good sign for our defense.
Coach, what do you think of Miles Jones and Jalen Bradley there on the white team? How'd you make it their performance today?
Well, again, that's tough sledding when you're playing on a team where the other team has more of the guys that are going to be playing on Saturdays, and I thought those 2 guys did a good job. I thought several guys on the white really stepped their game up and competed. I won't be able to say exactly until I watch the tape and review it. I was just a casual observer watching guys, but I was pleased with a lot of the performances that I saw.
As you start to go down to some of the young guys on defense, where do Casey Rogers and Garrett Nelson sort of fall? Both seem to be flashing some plays along with that.
Especially with those new guys, and Casey's been here a while, but he's just getting his feet wet. Garrett just got on campus. It's really hard to evaluate them until they completely know what they're doing. Once they know what they're doing and they're not making mistakes, they're more comfortable, then it's easier to evaluate them compared to the other people of their position. But both guys had a really good spring and have set themselves up to be right in the mix come fall.
How much gap do you feel like there is between the number 1 and the number 2 offensive lines? They both seem to move the defense a little bit at times today. Is there much of a difference there? Is there more depth than maybe you had last year?
I think we have more depth at most places than we had. The 1-0 line did good at times. At times we need to finish better. There was a couple of times their hole was there, and if we just finish our block a little better, you crease it. And the margins in football are real small, but I want to keep getting more aggressive and gaining one more blade of grass to help us pop runs. There's a little more of a separation between 1 and 2 right now than I'd like to. And a lot of those guys that are on the 2 line are going to keep hopefully competing and pushing the guys on the 1 line. But we need more depth there and more guys to develop there as well.
Where do you go from here with the running backs, and how much of what you saw this spring factors into the next 4 months because of how many changes there will be on from your personnel standpoint?
Yeah, running back's the position that's probably going to change the most come fall with 3 new guys coming in. Obviously, Mo didn't participate today, and we'll see what happens with that. But that room's going to look entirely different. So it's really up to the guys coming in and how quick they can learn it to see how much in the mix they are. We're thin at that spot right now and hoping that reinforcements are on the way, and we'll let all those guys compete against each other. But there's some good things happening. Wyatt Mazur's had a great spring for us and been a consistent, reliable guy. And Coach Held's going to have his work cut out for him to try to teach those guys in a rapid fashion.
What was this spring game like for you compared to last year's experience?
A little less emotional for me this year than last year. That was pretty special coming out of the tunnel. It had been a long time for me. Year 2 is when you're getting everything built and trying to get it built. Year 2 is just easier for a head coach. I don't lose my voice at practice near as much. There's not as many details that I have to fix. And it was fun just watching today, watching the assistant coaches operate, watching some of the guys play well. There's still a lot we need to fix. We're not a finished product by any means. We're just somewhere in the process of getting the whole thing built the way we want it to. But my job gets easier the farther down that road we get.
How fun is a day like this for you? It's almost like a family reunion. Number of guys that seem to come back now every year for several months.
Oh, yeah, I've seen some guys that I haven't seen in 2 decades. Michael Booker just grabbed me on my way off the field, and obviously he was a big part of a lot of really good teams around here. I haven't seen him in years. I saw Eric Strickland yesterday. Haven't seen him in years. Just guys that it's special for me to see because they're part of this brotherhood. And I love having those guys back because, one, I care about them and they care about me. But I also like to have our players see those guys back and see what it means to be a Husker football player and see how it goes with you your whole life and see how the fans still know who you are. There really is no place like Nebraska as far as that goes. If you're a great player here, people are going to remember you the rest of your life. And those guys are still pulling for the guys playing today. It's awesome to kind of continue that fraternity and have the guys come back and teach this group what it's supposed to look like.
Did you expect this spring from your defense, or did it surprise you how much? You said they dominated some practices. Did that surprise you?
I wouldn't say it surprised me how well the defense did. I was pleased, maybe more pleased than I expected to be. They got a lot better, and they played freer. They ran around a lot better. I think almost position by position I saw improvement. And that being said, it's kind of supposed to be that way. And as long as I've been a part of running this offense as a receiver coach or coordinator or head coach, defense is always ahead in the spring. And even fall camp, the defense is ahead. And most of the time through spring balls, we would get our butts kicked by the defense and think we weren't going to have very good offense that year, and we'd have a top 5 offense in the country. And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen here, but that's kind of standard operating procedure for spring balls.